Hello everyone, welcome back to another Mini-Sode. Today, we'll be taking a look at Painkiller, Hell Wars. Combining the original Painkiller with its first expansion, Battle Out of Hell, Hell Wars came out in a time where action and horror blended together in a thick, soupy, crimson pool of angst, and plenty of ideas for White Wolf characters. Not that I have a problem with that. On the contrary, I adore that time period. But the plot is about as basic as it gets. Daniel Garner, stuck in purgatory after he and his wife Catherine are killed in a head-on collision, is given an offer from God via the angel Samael. If he can kill 4 of Lucifer's generals in order to prevent a war between heaven and hell, Daniel will be granted purification, allowing him passage to heaven, where he may reunite with Catherine and they can spend eternity together. With no other choice, Daniel sets out to become Heaven's Hitman. No, really, it says it on the box. Keeping that in mind, don't expect a whole lot of grandiose storytelling. It's okay, but trust me, the gameplay is where it's at. Painkiller is a first-person shooter more in the vein of Serious Sam and Doom rather than Halo. The goal here is simple: kill every vile demon and unholy creature in your path on the way to the chapter's boss, using a small assortment of guns to do the job. There are 6 weapons to collect throughout the game, but in reality you have 12, as each weapon has a primary and alternate fire, like a shotgun that also fires freeze rounds, a stake gun / grenade launcher, and a rocket launcher / chain gun, just to name a few. Taking this approach to weaponry is pretty clever, though it is odd that you can only equip 2 at a time, having to enter a menu to switch what you want as opposed to just cycling through them. Along with your ammo and armor pickups, there are souls left behind when you defeat an enemy that refills a bit of health. When you collect 33, you will change into a demon for a short period of time and become invulnerable to enemy damage, allowing you to slay everything in your path. Your biggest aid, though, comes in the form of tarot cards. Each stage has a secondary challenge, such as beating it with a particular weapon or in a certain amount of time, that when completed earns you one of these cards that you can then activate using some of the gold you collected in the stages. These cards grant certain buffs when activated, such as increased health or double damage, with 2 types: gold, which are temporary and can only be used once per level, and silver, which work throughout. That's really all there is to Painkiller, just some good old-fashioned running and gunning with the satisfaction of facing a massive horde of enemies, blasting them to pieces. Of course, the game can get pretty challenging the more foes that are dropped in your path, and it can chug a bit when there's too much action on screen. But thankfully, the checkpoint system is pretty forgiving. There's also multiplayer modes such as Free-for-All, Team Deathmatch, Capture the Flag, and a few more. Unfortunately, I can't show any of it due to it being only available via System Link and Xbox Live. But from what I've heard, it's pretty good for its time. Speaking of its time, Painkiller looks just as good as the PC version, or as good as a console can muster. Similar to Doom 3 on Xbox, it seems that most of the game's stages were trimmed or cut out from the PC original in order to fit onto the big screen. Still, what is here looks great. They are pretty big and detailed with huge variation, with you traveling to a cemetery, prison, asylum, opera house, old towns, and more. Meanwhile, the enemy designs are all over the place, and I love it. You have your standard skeletons, witches, and demons, but you also have ninjas, samurai, bikers with miniguns, zombies, the list goes on. The audio is definitely one of the highlights of the game. Painkiller has a damn good metal soundtrack that plays whenever the shooting starts and slow, creepy ambiance when the action dies down. In regards to voice acting, there's not much in Painkiller. What's here is mostly in the cutscenes to keep the story going. Still, the actors do a good job. Daniel is played by Clarke, who many will know as the voice of Raiden in the Metal Gear Solid series, and Leonardo in the classic TMNT cartoon.
Hopefully the traffic won't be bad. Dinner reservations are at 8.
Oh, I can't believe how hard it's raining. We sure picked a great day to celebrate my birthday.
Oh, it's just a little rain. It'll dry. Anyway, we'll be there in no time.
The late John Saigon, who, funny enough, voiced Solid Snake in Metal Gear Solid 2, plays Samael.
Finally get to see her again?
Yes, but it won't be that easy. These 4 are generals in Lucifer's army. They're extremely powerful and well guarded by their minion hordes.
Eve is played by Vanessa Marshall, who's voiced many a video game and animated character, and also happened to play Olga in Metal Gear Solid 2.
Weapon down. I'm here to help.
Help?
I know a lot about these armies. I know their locations, and I know about the generals who lead them. If you're planning on destroying them all, you're gonna need my help.
And I should trust you because...
We don't have time for games, Daniel. You can feel I'm human. And I'm telling you, your map is no longer correct. Give it to me. Yeah. See, this horde has moved from here to somewhere up here.
Honestly, I'm surprised David Hayter didn't voice God. Painkiller, Hell Wars is not only a fun shooter, but a solid port for the big green, and worth picking up for a couple of bucks. However, if you want to play Painkiller and not bother with the Xbox, you can just pick it up on Steam along with the other expansions and sequel. However you decide to play, it's worth it to be Heaven's Hitman. Now that's a movie poster quote. Thanks for watching. Sitting in for the magnificent Dali Popka today has been I, merely Joshua Tiberius of the Technicolor Dojo. And while I'm supposed to tell you to stay green, I've always preferred the original closer. So, see you next time, my lovely people, and don't forget, if you want to play retro, try going green.